What's up, everybody? It's the Hard Deconstruction. You can find us at harddeconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/harddeconstruction, as well as facebook.com/theharddeconstruction with your host Comp and
Barcode Nancy.
I literally lost my train of thought mid-sentence. Today's film is
The Void 2016.
The Void 2016. Shortly after delivering a patient to an understaffed hospital, a police officer experiences strange and violent occurrences seemingly linked to a group of mysterious hooded figures.
You know what that reminds me of? That sounds just like the movie The Void 2016.
I have no idea what way you're going with this comedy, but I'll assume that it made sense to somebody. So this is directed by Jeremy Gillespie and Steven Kostanski. It's written by them as well, starring Aaron Poole, Kenneth Welsh, and Daniel Fathers. Ooh,
wow.
Imagine he was just raised by his mom. That'd be ironic. So, Danny, why did you pick this film? Actually, you just said you saw it today, so I said, hey, let's do this episode.
I was just
Why did you watch
Netflix.
this film? Okay.
I was on Netflix, just lounging around, looking for things, and, you know. But then I found out that the guys that did BioCop and Manborg did it. So
was it them?
That's what actually sparked my interest.
No shit, it was them, was it? Get out of here.
The Astron 6
It is?
production.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I am disappointed.
Or at least, I don't know if they did it, but no, apparently they didn't produce it, but it's connected to them somehow. I'm a little confused how it's connected to them. But
because I would say I'm very disappointed because I thought Astron 6 movies are pretty good. Although, actually, I saw a little bit of Father's Day, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Maybe it's not connected to it. Maybe it's just...
You're just making up a story for yourself to make you feel better.
No, on the wiki it really does mention it, but I guess maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. It's saying it is compared to, so maybe...
Well, this
maybe
guy, this guy did some of the... he's on the art department for the upcoming It, and he was in the art department for Fargo. So this guy has a lot of talent, obviously. He's in the art department of these films, especially Suicide Squad. He was assistant art director. I'll give him this. Suicide Squad had good art direction. That was the worst movie I saw that year. Well, oh boy. It had some at least good art design and stuff.
Good art direction, so
yeah.
There you go. You know what? I think I am stupid. I think they were just comparing it.
Think? You said think, or...
Yeah, I think they were just comparing it.
No, I mean, I think you think you're stupid? Okay, so this film, The Void, this is a movie I heard about at least a year and a half ago. I saw crowdfunding trailers for it, for like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and I think obviously it made its money that way that they funded the film for it. It's a Canadian film, I believe. And
wow.
I remember seeing the trailer. I would see the trailer for it on horror websites, and they were like, we want to make movies sort of like John Carpenter, and you definitely see them trying to Carpenter this movie.
That whole trilogy of the Thing trilogy where it's, you know, the fucking Satan one where it's like...
Yeah, Prince of Darkness, and was it also They Live, or was it a different film that was...
No, They Live. It was something else. I'll look it up, but anyway, keep talking.
So this is a film that I saw the trailer for a long time ago, and the trailer, the Indiegogo or Kickstarter, I don't know which one, I couldn't think of it. The trailer for it was really cool because it was just sort of snippets. There was a
In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness, correct. This is a film that was funded mostly through that, but it looked like the trailer was. I think they were getting the money back for making it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it looked like it was essentially shot already, but.
Right.
The teaser trailer for it was really pretty impactful stuff. It looked really nice. It had that whole Carpenter vibe. Obviously, it used that synth score, and the teaser trailer for it originally was something that had like a good amount of symbolism. When I saw the trailer, it had a lot of those hooded.
I like the way they look.
Yeah, the hooded cult. They're not.
That's like the KKK on the moon.
It had these hooded cult guys in the trailer, and I was like, whoa, these looks pretty cool because the symbolism looked really neat. Like just the look of them, the aesthetic. Definitely the aesthetic of the film looked great, and I was expecting that in this film, but that's not the film I got. This is what it says in the wiki. It says the film was originally crowdfunded on Indiegogo and had raised $82,510. The film was originally shown at the 2016 Fantastic Fest and later at the Toronto After Dark Film Festival. A lot of films go through Toronto After Dark Film Festival. I think Thea goes to that a lot. I think she's mentioned them before. Those Canadians, they get some good movies.
After Dark.
An episode she'll never listen to. I remember seeing that trailer and I was like, oh, this is great. So when I finally got to see this, when I heard people say, oh, this is a good film, and then I would start seeing people saying, why do people bullshit me and say this is a good film? I'd see a lot of that. I was like, uh-oh. So I decided to check out the film itself. I saw it a while before you did, but I actually, to me, there's so little that happens in this film that I actually have successfully.
I mean, a lot happens. It's just not very important.
Right. I've successfully compartmentalized the whole film into a greatest hits in my mind, even though there's not that much of a greatest hits in this film. How does this film start out, Daniel?
It's first of all, that's not my name.
What did you say your name was in this episode? Very good. So, how does this film start out?
It starts out with. And they don't really explain it, but it starts out with this guy, Vincent, and his son shooting after some drug addict who's fleeing their house in the woods.
And they shoot this woman and they set her on fire.
And then there's a cop sleeping in a car.
A cop runs into the drug dealer, right? Like he's all wasted out on the side of the road. He takes him in. This is pretty much an empty town. I guess this is the budget showing that this is an empty town. Is it a dry town? I guess they try to explain. I don't know. A dry town is apparently a town where they don't serve.
They don't serve alcohol,
something like that, right?
There's a lot of those in Georgia, actually.
I don't blame them because they would be fucking killing each other over there. So the cop brings this guy into a local hospital where his ex-wife works, and they are.
I don't even think it's his ex-wife. I think they're just split.
Oh, are they they're estranged, I guess? Yeah. So there's I only know all these characters are archetypes. The main cop guy, I would hope would be a much more interesting character. Like I think sort of like the everyday man that becomes some sort of force.
I kind of like nature. The main cop. He's like one of the only characters I actually do like.
I don't think he was okay. Like he's the least worst, I guess, out of the written characters for this film. For me,
the least worst.
The least worst. And I don't mean to shit on the guys who make this film. Obviously, this is a work of passion for these people. But for the movie just didn't completely work for me. Aesthetically, visually, looks great. Great practical special effects. The guys in the hoods, I wish there was fucking more of those occult people because it's not explained. It is explained at the end.
Well, there's a lot of them.
There's these archetypes. There's a pregnant woman, her father, her aged father. There's a young nurse, like an apprentice, not an apprentice nurse. I guess she's
like an intern or something.
She's like an intern, right? Played by Ellen Wong. I believe she was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It's very nice to see her in something else because she played. She is cute. She plays Knives Chow in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was a very likable character in that film, and I was like, why isn't she in more stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, they don't allow Asians in fucking American movies for some reason. Like they just don't. But
there really aren't that many.
She does show up in I believe that show Glow on Netflix, which is actually a very good show. I didn't think it was going to be that good.
I don't even know what it's about.
Glow is about gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Stars Allison Brie. There was this show you had to remember this. It was in the late 80s. I mean, called Glow. It's like it was like the WWF at the time. Now it's WWE, but for women. Yeah. And this is sort of like
China was and stuff?
No, China was never on. I don't think she would have been too young for it. But it was a show. Well, this show Glow is like a comedic sort of dramatization of that. But it's actually very good. I didn't think I wouldn't think to see a show like that, but it's actually well done.
All right.
Anyway, she's in that show, so you can support Ellen Wong that way.
This is a great story. You know what? It's so good that I don't even need to see the show anymore.
There's Dr. Richard Powell, who I believe is the unknown antagonist in the film. Here's the thing. So that's him. There's a guy called the Father.
Oh shit, that's where I know him from.
What? Where?
He's Wyndham. He's from Twin Peaks.
Okay, good. A show I don't watch. So that's you're talking about the doctor, right? There's the father and the
Yeah.
son. There's these two guys. Was the son mute? That's the part I'm
This
forgetting.
he doesn't talk at all.
Yeah. So there's a father and the son. They're essentially they're the asshole anti-hero characters. I think they were a little bit too much of assholes in the film, so I didn't like him, the father
Yeah.
character. The son is this guy who doesn't talk through the film. I think because he's traumatized or something happened to him. I don't know what the hell happened to his character. They don't. All this stuff is like we're watching the sequel to a movie that already happened. It's sort of like that where these
Yeah.
characters all had something else happen, but they don't explain it. Like they just throw away sort of
Well, I mean, I've
sentences.
seen that in movies before.
Yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah. That's
cares?
fine. I get that. But I mean, in here, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't know. It's almost like everybody's backstories was too complicated. It wasn't something you just throw off. Like, okay, like I get the main cop and his estranged wife weren't together because their child died, and the thing was so traumatic that they couldn't stay together. But I didn't give a
Yeah.
shit about his character, and I certainly didn't care about her because she didn't have much to do either. That's Allison Fraser, I
Well,
believe her character.
she did say one or two words, and they were great
Oh,
words.
fantastic! There's also the I think it was it a sheriff that was his boss or something. That
Yeah.
other guy.
I guess so. He was a dick.
Essentially,
He
what
knew his
happens
dad.
is the drug addict starts noticing bad shit's happening. It's a film where there's no real set rules of what's going on because they have all these cult members.
Well, the
Um,
drug addict actually knew the evil doctor
right.
from beforehand and had witnessed his rituals.
Like there's no set amount. There's no set way that the monsters um, sort of possess people. It sort of just happens randomly in the film. Um, I
Well,
think
the
what
doctor makes it happen, I
like that
think.
one nurse was help. The nurse was helping that guy in the bed. Like she was helping him, I guess, feel better or something. And he gets like killed by that other nurse who's possessed.
Yeah, Beverly. That was a great scene.
It's a great scene, and everything's essentially practical effects. But it's like okay, like that part. I was waiting for non-monster part stuff to get the fuck done quick because
Yeah.
like when it's not like monster stuff on the screen, it's really badly boring shit. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
this movie is like all about effects
yeah,
because
it's trying hard to have a Carpenter vibe of like, okay, like the one thing I want to try that I think it's trying to be is like The Thing. Obviously,
right.
these 6 or 7 people stuck in this one place, and they're besieged by these creatures or whoever else. Like they can't get out because there's all these cult people outside, which is well shot. But I wanted more cult people. I wanted more cult people to run in and get taken out like cannon fodder.
There was
Because I
some
thought,
really cool shit like when the cult people are in now, like towards the end, and the halls are all like fucking red and stuff.
yeah,
Like
that's
that.
great. See, whenever it's not monster stuff, the movie doesn't work for me. Like I was just like, this is fucking boring. Like I didn't care about these
The script
characters.
isn't the best.
They say that again.
The script isn't the
No, it
best.
really isn't because you want to. They're wanting to force you to like these archetypes of the characters, but these are messy, sort of translucent archetypes. Archetypes like let's say Charles Bronson in Death Wish. All those movies are archetypes. Like Death Wish 3. I'll just take an example. Charles Bronson is the guy who had his whole family. Well, you had
Right.
the easiness of watching the first two films where he just blows people away, but essentially he's just a killing machine with a huge mustache. And but there's other characters like the Spanish guy who has a pipe gun, but his wife dies, but he's an archetype character. He's just like a good guy that's forced to kill people,
Yeah, I have
bad
no
people.
problem with
There's
archetypes.
the punks. You know what they are, but how they stand. They're not. They even though they're about 2D paper thin, the acting and the writing for their dialogue is done well enough that you can enjoy a schlock movie like Death Wish 3. I love that movie. This one, the characters are so paper thin that I didn't give a flying fuck about anybody in the movie. I didn't
Would
care
you
about
say
what
that
was
they're
going on.
like that kind of invisible tracing paper that you put over
Yes,
something and then
if
draw
and
it?
then you no, but you gotta wet the paper too. That's
I
how thin
don't
these characters are.
I don't wet it. I usually draw over it with the light shining, and then I scribble on the back with charcoal, and then I go back to the front and draw it again.
Art lessons. What are things that work for you with this film?
Well, all the special effects are
Hmm.
fucking awesome. The whole lighting, every visual aspect of this movie
The
is
look of
awesome.
the film is good. It makes sense that art directors are working on this film because it looks beautiful. Had they handed the script off to somebody else to write, probably would have made it a lot better.
Yeah, well, the directing isn't the best. Like, there's the dialogue
Yeah, it
isn't that
is.
great. The
I mean,
acting's okay.
it looks like they were directing this film while looking at John Carpenter films. Do you know what I mean? Like they would
Right.
like stop the movie and be like, "Should we do this in a wide shot?" Because the thing with Carpenter is that he has a lot of great establishing shots, and he has a lot of great. He lets scenes play out on wide shots, like where you see many characters on screen going through one sequence. He's very refined in his look of his films. Carpenter has a way with his movies that they're telling a story without jumping to shots every 3 seconds. He lets the
Yeah,
characters breathe on screen, and he lets the film
and I love that.
languish in its visuals. And this film looks like it's trying to do that, but every shot is empty. It's not like there's a painterly quality to the way that Carpenter does his shots. Like there's a shot in the Prince of Dark, a movie I didn't even think that was that great, Prince of Darkness, where there was about 12 characters on
I
screen on
keep thinking
table.
back to it though, and I think I like it more when
Yeah,
I
I think
think
well,
about it.
especially compared to this movie. But with Prince of Darkness, it's like there's a shot where there's 12 people in a room. You know, when they're talking, basically discussing what they're gonna do there at the night, and it looks like a painting, just the way everybody is composed on the screen. In here, there's
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 characters on the screen. I think it's like jumbled up. It just looks badly put together, and I'm like, these are art directors that put
Well,
this together, and I'm
this
like, what's
movie
going on?
has the disease that the movie Mom had times 500, where it can't decide what it is. Like it
In
doesn't
what
know if
sense? I mean,
it's
it's a horror film, but do you think
no,
it doesn't have an
it doesn't
idea of?
it doesn't know if it's trying to be dramatic or funny or
I didn't laugh at
scary.
all in this movie. Did you find that it was
No,
trying to
but
be
I
funny
could
in
tell
this
there are
movie? Or?
points where it was trying to,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
and
like
like it,
completely flew over my head.
and there are points where all of a sudden it was like strangely dramatic, and the music was kind of dramatic. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
And here's the thing: it's not hard. It's hard to fuck up a synth score, and I'll give him that. Like the soundtrack is at least good because I'm a sucker for synth music in horror films like this. Just because obviously, I'm sure Carpenter wasn't the first to do it. I'm sure there's like a lot of Italian, splattercore films back then, and Italian sort of exploitation movies that started with that. But everybody knows, everybody when they think of synth scores in movies, they think of John Carpenter, or they think of those Italian giallo films and stuff
but
like
now we
that.
got it in the newer shit, like It Follows and everything.
Yeah, now it's like being used a lot, which is fine by me because I was about to
Young
say it's.
Demon.
Now I was gonna say it was being, yeah, well, that's a good soundtrack for that movie. I was gonna say it's overused, but actually I love that type of soundtrack, so I don't have a problem with it. But you
Yeah,
can tell now everybody thinks that they can use it in their films, and automatically, I think it actually elevates the movie sometimes, even if it does fucking suck.
I
The
just
movie
hate
itself.
like the soundtrack's really. This soundtrack isn't bad to me,
Yeah,
but
the soundtrack for this is sort of pedestrian in a way that it's like sort of forgettable.
pedestrian. Look at this
I know.
guy.
I used some
He's
$10
pulling
words
out. He
today.
said languish before.
I
He's
know. Look
pulling
at
out all the
me.
stops.
I'm so riddled with sleep that I'm actually thinking of words now.
Wow.
But yeah, it's almost like the Neon Demon was I didn't like that movie, but the soundtrack was incredible, and I remember music from that. Here, I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was like doom doom doom. I'm sure it had
It
music
was
like that.
okay, you know.
Yeah, and like aspects that I did like were obviously the cult people and stuff like that. Like the way that they looked, like that was a really
Yeah.
cool sort of simple design with their logo on their face. Or I'm sorry, is that a crest or what do you call that when they have an
That
imprint?
looked like a face hole.
Whatever their look was pretty cool. But no, but there was like an
I
imprint throughout the whole
no, I
film.
know. It was their symbol.
Okay, the symbol. Oh my God! See that I use those two good
See, he
words and then
used
I
up the
forget
word
the word symbol.
languish and pedestrian, and he forgot basic words like
I'll
symbol.
forget my name by the end of this episode. But
You're like
stuff
Kelly
like
Bundy.
the thing I like when she called the FBI the FB guys. That was a good
She
episode.
she had an episode where she was doing a game show or something or some kind of trivia, and so Al's teaching her everything. But
Yes,
then
I remember
she
that
starts to
episode.
forget like basic shit like
I
the
remember that was a good
ABCs.
episode. Oh God, that was funny. Oh, what a good show.
It really
But
was.
with this film, what they're trying to do is essentially what the film is that the doctor Richard Powell, who gets his throat slashed and supposedly killed in the film, what he wants to do is he wants to. What does he want to do? He wants to bring the world to.
He wants to bring his daughter back.
Okay.
He goes
Because
insane basically after his kid dies.
and what he wants to do is he's trying to convince the female doctor, the cop's estranged wife, she would understand with it. And I'm like, it almost feels like, oh, what is this bullshit they're coming out with? Like, you understand what I'm going through. I will say this: the doctor, when he's in his final monster form, is fucking great. I wish the last 10 minutes of this movie was the whole movie. I thought it was incredible how he looked. Like he was just basically like a shadow version of himself. He looked great.
Yeah.
He had a great voice. He had a great presence on screen. Like when he was a doctor in the beginning, I was like, I didn't give a shit who he was. But when he's that monster man, he's fucking awesome. The set design,
Yeah. Well,
the
no,
last
all
10
the
minutes.
fucking designs are sick. That's Wyndham Earl from Twin Peaks.
Wyndham Earl, really?
Yeah.
Well, you
don't
actually
even
believe that
know
I
who-
said that? Yeah, I
You don't
know.
even know who he
That's
is.
good acting, right? That's why I said that, because I was acting like I
dick.
cared. But the last 15 minutes of the film, even though it really is sort of a not very great ending, but his character design and the way he spoke and acted, and then the part when all the void people or whatever the fuck they're called, the cult people, are getting killed or killing themselves and stuff like that. That's great. They have the young nurse, and she's running away with the son character. That was boring. I didn't give a shit about I was happy that she survived, but I didn't give a shit about their characters. Do you know what I mean?
Monster.
I did like the way that they got rid of the estranged wife character. It was gruesome. I did like what that mutant that nurse turned into at the beginning.
Yeah, Beverly.
Yeah, she
was
turns into
great.
this big mutant, and you can tell it was all practical, which was nice. Did not give a shit about the cop character. He reminded me of like a even thinner version of Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. I will say this: the special effects of the void, I guess the other world that they fall through. This is
was
what
awesome.
reminded me. This movie reminded me of The Prince of Darkness a lot, because it did a lot of that shit with falling into a mirror, falling into whatever, so you could fall through the other dimension. I love that special effect, like when you see the space and all that weird crap. That stuff's great. I was like, nah,
Yeah.
this is good. Like,
And now
I'd
they're
watch
in
this
like
shit.
the other world, and they're gonna fucking die.
yeah, the cop like bum rushes him into another dimension, and he's there at the end in this other planet or whatever the fuck this is with his wife.
Well, where's the bad guy in the other dimension? You don't see him.
I don't know. I guess since he's dead, I don't know. That's what you call bad writing. Remember you said it was bad writing? That's
Yeah.
that bad writing there, because he's not there with them. Obviously, he would be. She died on this planet, but she's alive over there. That Void Man died on this planet, but he was still here. But then he goes into that planet, and then he's not there anymore. So what the fuck's going on? I don't get
I
it.
don't know.
His daughter would be on that planet too, wouldn't she? If it's a flip side of the universe, who knows?
Yeah.
It's a shit. I didn't like the movie that much. I will give it credit for having good effects and everything. I don't know. I'm like getting delirious now, but I felt like we could talk about what the plot was, but there wasn't really any plot. It's like a bad.
You sound like a nebbishy, grandma Jew.
They don't cut off the crusts. They don't put enough pickles in the sandwich. I want my sandwich with pickles. I mean, come on.
The only skin I want to cut off is the foreskin.
It's for good use, you know. Anyway, get it? Because
Full off.
foreskin, yes. Yeah, I it's almost like I could talk about what happens in the film, but it's almost like a pointless, because it's a siege at a hospital and not much happens. A monster attacks these people. These two cowboys come around shooting. It's not good. The camera shots are not that great. Visually, towards the end, fantastic. Some visual cues are actually very well done, but it almost seems like it's a cobbled together film, which is disappointing. I mean, you should support filmmakers anyway, but they should learn from their mistakes with this type of film.
I mean, look, I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not.
It was a fun.
It's
it
not
was
a.
fun
It's
thing
not a
to
horrible
watch.
film. I didn't think it's a horrible film, but I didn't think it was lived up to the hype. That's why I got to stop listening to the hype of other people.
Yeah.
But,
I didn't know anything going in.
Yeah, I think it's a film that if you got time to just watch anything, it's not the worst thing you can watch, because it does have a handful of cool visuals in it. But I wish that they had followed through with something a little bit more complex and a little bit more well put together.
Yeah.
So I would give the film a 5 out of 10. Uh, Thinking you're gonna get back with your wife, and then the bitch explodes.
What a selfish lady. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, mostly for effects. 7 out of 10. Your daughter dies, so you've decided now that the way to bring her back is by transforming into a hideous Lovecraftian White Walker.
And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Snack attack. Snack.
The horror deconstruction.